Alrighty, good Sunday evening, Arkansas. This is Chief Forecaster coming back here once again here to give you guys a quick live stream going over this severe weather potential as we get towards tomorrow. I do need a couple of favors from you guys. I see the audio levels on my end. Make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear on both Facebook and YouTube. And what I'm going to do is, you see that empty bar at the bottom of the graphic? That's where your questions are going to go. So if you have any questions or anything like that, please tune in and let me know. Right now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if we can get any. Okay, yep, there we go. All right, there's comments coming in. Okay, so like I mentioned before, we do have the severe weather potential as we get towards tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. We do have that slight risk down there in South Arkansas at this point. I think this risk, as a matter of fact, that this was an outdated one. This one was this morning. That didn't come in on our end. But we do have that margin risk up in the northern Arkansas and then that slight risk down there in southern Arkansas at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead because for some reason that one did not go through. So let's go over and talk about this. So this is going to be the number one thing that I want to talk to you guys about because we've had a lot of people kind of ask about the tornado risk, what are we looking at, stuff like that. So this is the updated one, don't worry. But tomorrow's risk kind of reminds me of something that we always deal with in the fall. You know, you have those warm front setups that kind of set up most times, 9 times out of 10, somewhere between central or northern Arkansas, and any storms that have enough instability and we're able to latch on the warm front, that's where you're going to have that isolated tornado potential for tomorrow. I want to make a disclaimer. This is not going to be March 31st. I want to make that clear right now. This is not going to be a March 31st tornado outbreak repeat, but you still need to keep your guard up as we get towards tomorrow, and especially for my folks down there in South Arkansas. You guys, I want to make this clear. If you know anyone, I mean anyone, that needs coverage down there in South Arkansas, please let them know about our page. This is what we do. We cover the entire state. We don't forget about South Arkansas or anything like that. You guys are just as important to us as anywhere else in the natural state here. And as a matter of fact, you guys have the quote-unquote higher risk of seeing a tornado or two down there in southern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow. Now, the overall timing of this has been a nightmare to kind of pinpoint on who's going to see what, when it's going to happen, how severe it's going to be. Like I mentioned before, there's a couple of key pieces that need to come together in order to produce severe weather as we get towards tomorrow. I'm going to go over that here in a little bit, and then I promise you guys I'm going to go over your comments because I see a lot of people kind of getting in the comments at this point. So the time frame right now, like I mentioned before, has been a nightmare to pinpoint. I have gone with a 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. time frame for tomorrow. Now, I want to make this clear. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get a whole new set of data. We're going to be able to look at the radar and everything. So the timing is going to vary. But I would say probably anything after 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon is when your alert level needs to be up as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So that's the tornado risk. I want to talk to you guys about this first while I have the majority of everyone here because this risk is important regardless if you're not in that medium. The medium's down there in Louisiana, Mississippi. We still have that low risk across South Arkansas and in the very low risk areas, but you can still see a isolated spin up or two in that green area as well. And that goes from Fayetteville, Mount Home, Walnut Ridge, all the way over to Blytheville, down to DeQueen, Arkadelphia, into the Pine Bluff area. Now, let's talk to you guys about the damaging wind risk. Now, I think the damaging wind risk is going to be better across southern Arkansas. I'm going to talk to you guys why I'm favoring South Arkansas over anyone else at this point, mainly because there's a lot of uncertainty at this time. But I think the better shot of seeing severe weather is going to be down there. However, I don't want anyone in the green area thinking, oh, nothing's going to happen. You know, it's down there in South Arkansas. It's fine. If you're in that green area, that's the starting point. I say this every time we have severe weather. That is going to be the starting point for seeing severe weather. So make sure that your alert level is up, even if you're in that green area for tomorrow. Now, if I come on air tomorrow morning or something like that and say, oh, hey, don't worry about it, then you're good. But majority of the area has a shot of seeing severe weather as we get towards tomorrow. South Arkansas is favored for seeing severe weather, but that doesn't mean if you're in that green area that you need to let your guard down. So that's the damaging wind risk for tomorrow. That's going to be for mainly 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Like I said, for South Arkansas favored, but I can't rule anything out across northern Arkansas at this current time here, okay? Now, let's talk about the large hail risk. The hail risk with this is going to be greater across South Arkansas because you're going to have what's called lapse rates. Your lapse rate is going to be about 6 to 7. So that's favorable for producing large hail. As a matter of fact, probably that southern row of counties. I cannot rule out you guys probably getting hatched for large tail. It just depends on if you go straight into a supercell threat or you're dealing with a squall line. So it just depends on that point. But I wouldn't rule it out across the board. Mainly probably from Texarkana over to El Dorado, over across it, and over to the Lake Village area at this current time here. And then I want to talk to you guys about this, and then I want to show you guys a cool graphic that's going to be coming up. That's going to break down the risk. It's going to have your Futurecast, and I'm going to go over questions at this point. So I want to talk to you guys about this because this is very important. The difference between tornado watch and tornado warning. I think tomorrow, probably across South Arkansas, there'll probably be some sort of tornado watch down there tomorrow. Given that you have the environment capable of producing a few tornadoes here. Obviously, the bigger, stronger tornado risk is south of Arkansas, but that doesn't mean anything at this point. So that's the difference between the two. Tornado warning, that means tornado warning is a tornado is ongoing or it's about to occur. You need to take shelter. Tomorrow, I know a lot of people are going to see radar indicated. That doesn't mean anything, guys. I promise you, you still need to have that alert level up, especially down there in South Arkansas. And you guys know the tornado watch. That means conditions are favorable for producing tornadoes here. And a severe thunderstorm warning, same thing. I think severe thunderstorm warnings may be a little bit more common across central and north Arkansas, mainly for hail and wind risk. So keep that in mind. Know the difference between a watch and a warning at this current point here. So give me just 1 second here. Let me see if it will pull up my graphic that I have for you guys here. Okay, so this is a very new product, by the way, that I wish we had in the spring. This just kind of breaks down everything that you need to look at here. So you have your tornado risk, you have your damaging wind risk, and your large hail risk, and then you have Futurecast off to your right hand side here. And you can see, I'm going to stop this for just a little bit, and we're going to talk to you guys about this. So this is about 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, couple of keynotes that I have before I start getting into the questions here. If we see morning rainfall, this is one case where I will say if you have a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity throughout much of the morning, you will probably be okay. That's why I'm favoring more central and south than I am north. Doesn't mean you need to let your guard down if you're up there, but I think you guys might end up getting washed out because of the fact that you have that warm front moving north. And in both situations like this, you have a ton of rainfall on the north side of the warm front, which prevents the warm front from pushing northward. Now, another disclaimer, if you don't see any rainfall tomorrow morning, the warm front's going to rapidly surge northward, and that's where you're going to have to watch for that severe weather threat as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening with the dry line cold front coming in at this time here. So this is about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to take this out. You can see this about 10, and there it is across the area here. So mainly northwestern Arkansas, a lot of heavy rainfall up there. That's going to be on the north side of the warm front. South Arkansas, if you see that first thing tomorrow morning, that's going to hold the warm front up from coming into the area here. This will be kind of the best case scenario for Arkansas. As you get a lot of rainfall tomorrow morning into the early afternoon, warm front stays down there in Louisiana, and you're just all good to go at this point. But we're still going to watch it across the area here. Now, let's take this out. You can see by lunchtime tomorrow, I have a lot of people that are going to be going to grocery stores for Thanksgiving, that are going to be traveling into the state for Thanksgiving, stuff like that, mainly on I-40, mainly on I-30 and stuff. Make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into as we get towards tomorrow. There's a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity moving in tomorrow. Make sure they know. This is very, very important because, like I said before, we got a lot of people coming in for Thanksgiving this week. So let's take this out, and you can see about 2 o'clock. I mean, there's a lot of heavy rainfall with our model here across eastern Arkansas, down in the southern and southeastern Arkansas. So if this were to happen, I think you will be okay. I think the majority of this severe weather threat would be in Louisiana and Mississippi. Now, like I mentioned before, there's other solutions that have completely different ideas. So make sure that you have your guard up as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, I'm going to at least attempt to pull up some coverage here. Let me see here. Brett, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I really don't. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. And YouTube today as well didn't get a notification. Me and Rich had that same problem when we were getting ready to go live. It wasn't sending out any notifications here. But if you guys hang on, probably coming up here the next, the short to long-term period, we're going to have a major update with our app coming out that's going to take care of those problems here. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. 2024 is going to be a different level for us here at Arkansas Weather Watchers here. So Trisha, that is a great question. You guys down there in Southeast Arkansas, I think, let me make sure I got this correct. I think it's Dermont that you guys are getting a new radar down there. Unfortunately, that's not going to be up for the next month. And on top of that, we're not going to have access to it. A lot of people are not going to have access to it outside of the National Weather Service. Yeah, I know about that. But unfortunately, it's a month out. So you're not going to have that radar down there in Southeastern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow, which is really, really unfortunate. But right now, like I mentioned before, we'll watch you guys down there. This will be the best case scenario for you guys to get a lot of heavy rainfall tomorrow morning, early afternoon, kind of washes out the severe weather threat, but we shall see at this point. But that's a really good question. Stacy, nice. Welcome to the live stream here. It's been a while, like I mentioned before. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's been a while since I've done one of these live streams here. I think the last time I did one was back in August when we had the 10% up there in North Arkansas. So hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving as well. Let me see here. Go over that at this point. Yeah, so the time frame right now is going to be, Sandy, it's going to be about, I would say, 10 to 2. It just depends because there's a lot of uncertainty on if we're going to get a morning round or something like that. As you guys see behind me, this is round number 1 coming in. This is round number 1 moving through the state right now. It's just some scattered showers. That's going to push through. What happens overnight let me get my words correct. What happens overnight and into your Monday morning is going to be the question on if we see severe weather or not. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do, and at least I'm going to try to, I'm going to switch this over. And this is the FV3. Now, this model is different. I think is a 0Z out yet? Not sure. Let me double check. No, it's not. Okay, so this is one of the other models that I almost used this for your Futurecast tonight, but this is kind of an outlier. And we can take this through. So this is tonight. This is midnight tonight. Little scattered showers here and there, nothing major. Maybe some rumbles of thunder out here in northwestern Arkansas. Also, one more thing. There could be some small hail in some of these storms tonight as well. So we'll watch that. But let's take this out through. And this is tomorrow morning. Now, like I mentioned before, if this were to happen tomorrow morning, you have a lot of clearing across central, eastern, and down into southern Arkansas. So we'll have to watch that closely, have to wait and see what ends up happening with that. But if this were to occur, then what it will do, it will lead to a lot of unstable air moving into Arkansas, especially across central and south, and that could lead to some severe weather here. And you can see what this model does. You get to about 3 p.m., you have an explosion of thunderstorms from central down into southern Arkansas here. So we'll wait and see what ends up happening. I promise you guys, I'd say probably first thing tomorrow morning, if not late tonight. I'll try to get you guys a little bit more of a time frame across the area here. Okay, so let me see. Anything in northeastern Texas, you guys may need to watch it down there. It just depends on how far north the warm front gets, Stacy. That's the number one thing. You do have that tornado risk, damaging winds, and large hail down there as well. Like I said, this is not going to be March 31st. I want to make that clear. It's not going to be anything like March 31st was. I know everyone's anxiety is like through the roof when they hear either severe weather or tornadoes or damaging winds. And for the right reason. You know, this has been a very active year for severe weather. That's just how it's been. So I want to make that clear that we're not expecting this to be a massive outbreak of severe weather. But obviously, if something changes, we'll keep you guys updated on that. But definitely something we'll have to watch down there in northeast Texas. Stacy, I missed you too. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these, guys. Let me know if you guys like the quiet weather. I personally do. We've had a lot of stuff that we've changed and everything. So let me know if you guys like the quiet weather as well. So what's the update? Just got on. Basically just going over tomorrow. I'm going over kind of some keynotes, what to expect. Could there be a bust potential? I think with this one, I would probably lean 70% severe weather, 30% bust potential, because you never know with warm front setups across the board. So I'm going to go over to the HR. And we're going to take a look at this. So now we have a different situation here because this is the HR now. And what it's wanting to do and what I'm thinking it's going to do, let me see here. So this is tomorrow morning, northwestern Arkansas. Like I said, it could be some hailers out here with these storms. This is all north of the warm front, so you don't have to worry about anything. But I think what it does, it allows a lot of clearing across southern and southeastern Arkansas here. So we shall see what ends up occurring out of this. If that were to occur, I would have to watch. You can see some near Hot Springs. There's a couple over here near Pine Bluff, down into southern Arkansas, El Dorado, over to Monticello. We'll have to watch these cells. We shall see. I think I have an idea of what I'm wanting to do with timing. I'm just not confident in it just yet. So that's what we're going over right now, Stacy, at this point. So let me see. Yeah, it's been cold and rainy all day up there in northwestern Arkansas. You guys are well north of the warm front. It's been chilly up there across the board. So East End, I would say right now, I want to make this clear. Central Arkansas is right, as always, with severe weather, especially warm front setups. You guys are right there along the line. You guys are right there along the board. What I'm going to do, by the way, I'm going to switch this back over to this. I'm going to let this loop through. So you guys are right there along that kind of that line between not really seeing a lot of severe weather and seeing a good amount of severe weather, like always. So we'll see what ends up happening. I want to get to tomorrow morning and look what the radar's wanting to do, we'll look at data, stuff like that, see where the warm front is, and then kind of make a better adjustment for that. But if you're in some sort of severe risk, that could be a marginal, that could be a slight risk, have your guard up for tomorrow, just to be on the safe side. I want to make that clear across the board here, okay? So Sharp County up there in northern Arkansas. Emily, I'm going to say right now, if you were to see a severe threat up there, the warm front would have to surge north, and I mean fast. You would have to have no rainfall tomorrow morning. You'd have to have, you can tolerate some cloud cover, but not a lot. But it would have to be a rapid surge of the warm front in order for you to see a lot of severe weather that far north. Granted, you will see large hail potential. There could be some gusty winds just because of the dynamics of the system, and a good amount of heavy rainfall as well. But the tornado threat up there, we'll see. We'll see. I want to get to tomorrow morning, look what the warm front's going to be, and we will go from there. But we shall see what ends up happening up there in northern Arkansas. So, yeah, huge fan of the quiet weather. Yeah, I know. We've been, like I said, we've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, kind of catching up and kind of getting everything. Like the product you see on your screen now, a lot of stuff coming our way and everything here. So I agree. I love the quiet weather too. But unfortunately, especially here in Arkansas, it does not last long at this point. So Veronica, I'm ready for snow. It's a little early it's a little early to kind of talk about that. What I want right now is the snowpack to build north, because the problem is right now, Iowa, Minnesota, the areas that you would expect to see snow, they don't have a snowpack right now. So if you guys have noticed over the last couple of cold shots we've had, it's been in, out, gone. It hasn't been sustained. So you don't have a snowpack to the north to kind of sustain that cold air. So that's the problem right now. And I was talking to Rich and I was talking to Derek about this. My original concern was the warm front was going to surge well to the north because you don't have the cold air to fight the warm front to keep it coming up. So, like I said, I want to get to tomorrow morning, see where the warm front is, and we'll go from there. But Veronica, yeah, I agree with you. But we're gonna be waiting a little bit for that here. So, is there a hail threat? Yes, there is a hail threat. The hail threat is going to be maximized across southern Arkansas. Fort Smith, there could be some small hail tomorrow morning with the storms that come in. However, I think the biggest shot of seeing the large hail is going to be down there in southern Arkansas. As a matter of fact, I can get that graphic up, and we can go from there. And let's take a look at your large hail risk. So this is your large hail risk. You're not even in the hail risk up there, but there could be some small hail tomorrow morning, and then the biggest shot is going to be down there across southern Arkansas at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, remind everyone about the cold front behind this. Yeah, John, I was going to wait until we got past tomorrow to start talking about it. Yes, there is a significant shot of cold air coming in. I've told you guys this, by the way, I think about 2 weeks ago. And I had some comments in there that were like, oh, it ain't going to last. It's not going to happen and all that. I was like, well, we'll see. The pattern does support that massive shot of cold air as we get towards the beyond the Thanksgiving time frame. So we do have that cold front to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to get into it once we get past tomorrow. But I did say that 2 weeks ago. I did say that we were going to have that cold shot right around that Thanksgiving time frame. If you guys have been watching my evening videos here. So JD, good point. Have your weather radios just in case. You guys know the deal about this. Like I said, this is not going to be March 31st repeat. I'm not expecting this to be a massive amount of severe weather. Louisiana, Mississippi, yeah, it just depends. It's going to be a messy mode down there if you're planning on going storm chasing or anything. But overall, I don't think this is going to be a massive amount of tornadoes or anything like that compared to what we saw on March 31st. But regardless, like JD said, make sure you have your weather radios ready to go just to be on the safe side here, okay? So, Texarkana, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Jessica, for the Little Rock area, is it looking we're going to have bad storms during rush hour? Good question. Right now, per our model, it does get it out of here by the time we get towards that 5-6 o'clock time frame. However, if it slows down or we start, things don't go as planned as it is right now as recording of this live stream, we'll have to wait and see. That could affect rush hour, and that would be a nightmare because you don't just have your regular rush hour, you have your Thanksgiving travel as well. You've got people coming in from the state and everything like that. So we'll see. I think this should be out of here by the time we get towards that 6-7 o'clock time frame, but we'll let you know about that, Jessica. Really good question here. So, Texarkana, you guys down there, I'll have to watch you guys. That tornado risk is going to be there. Let's go over to just the newest data here, and bear with me for just a moment. It's going to be right here. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to watch. Now, I have a couple of questions here. Now, this is the instability, okay, and I'm going to go over to the 0Z real quick. And I said I have a lot of questions here. So, right now, and this is what I mean. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot of heavy rainfall across north and central Arkansas. Much of the instability is down in southern Arkansas. So, yes, we will have to watch Texarkana, Magnolia, El Dorado, over to the Camden, and Crossett, Monticello, and over towards Lake Village area here. We'll have to keep an eye on that for you guys at this point. But mainly a damaging wind, large hail. I cannot rule out that tornado risk for tomorrow here. So just keep an eye out, like I mentioned before, down there in South Arkansas. If we have any tornado warnings tomorrow, even if it's down there, we're going to keep you guys updated. We're going to be here. We're going to do what we normally do here at Arkansas Weather Watchers here. So wind, I have a lot of questions from the wind area here, guys. I understand where you guys are coming from because, back in March, you guys had that massive tornado go through. I want to let you know right now, I think the best shot of seeing severe weather is going to be south of your area. I think that's going to be the best bet. Now, if I say something different tomorrow morning, then we'll let you guys know about that. But right now, just based off what I'm seeing, there's a good amount of rainfall that's going to act like a shield that's going to keep the warm front from surging north. South Arkansas may be a lost cause down there for the warm front because I think it's going to surge regardless. But central, along I-30, well, basically you could say basically from Hot Springs, Little Rock, over the wind, over towards the Memphis area, points north. I think you guys are going to be pretty okay, but we'll see. We'll see. I want to see how far north this warm front gets, but I'm seeing some signs right now that we may have too much rainfall to kind of get the warm front northward at this point here. So I forgot to pull your comment up. I apologize for that. But yeah, that's the comment that I was addressing at this point. So yeah, just a friendly reminder, we do have live minute-to-minute storm coverage on our Discord and also quick moderator responses as well. So I want to make that clear if you guys want to check that out. North Arkansas, let me go back here. I already addressed the Texarkana area. North Arkansas, flipping area. You guys, like I mentioned before, I was really surprised at the launch update that they added you guys to the severe risk. I think you guys up there are going to be fine. Like I said, we will see because we have a lot of heavy rainfall that's going to move in. Whenever you get a setup, especially this time of year, we like to call this the cold season. And you'll get a lot of these warm front setups that you'll have a ton of heavy rainfall on the north side of it, and the south side ends up seeing the best severe weather. So take this graphic, for example. If you're trying to read this graphic, do you notice how all the blue and the green, even some yellows, are down in the South Arkansas and North Louisiana? That's because they are on the opposite side of the warm front. They are in the unstable air down there. That's why your severe threat is much greater across Louisiana and Texas because of the fact that this warm front is they're past the warm front. But you notice once you get, I would say, probably north of, I'd say that's Hope, north of South Arkansas, going to central and north, you notice how there's no blue, there's no green or anything like that. You guys have no instability up here because you have a lot of cloud cover heavy rainfall, and with you being on the other side of the warm front, you have east to northeast winds. So what that does, it acts like, let's put this for example. I'm trying to think of an example. Think of it like you have food in the refrigerator, and the refrigerator door is closed, and your house is like really, really warm. But that refrigerator door acts to keep the warm air out of the refrigerator. So that's kind of how warm fronts work. They kind of separate the stable, drier, cooler air from the unstable, warm, and moist air on the south side of it. So I hope that makes sense. That's the best thing I could come on demand here, but I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of how it works at this point. So yeah, like I said before, Central Arkansas, I got a lot of people from Central Arkansas. I think you guys are going to be fine at this point if we see the rainfall tomorrow morning. If there's a ton of rainfall on the board first thing tomorrow morning, then I'm going to know my answer right then and there. I'm going to say, okay, yeah, this is a South Arkansas event. That's how it's going to be. But we shall see what ends up happening tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is going to tell me the story on who's going to see the severe weather. It was a great call by Storm Prediction Center to put it further to the north because there are some model data that's wanting to push that warm front northward. But climate speaking, it typically kind of hangs out right at Central Arkansas, even just south of Central Arkansas. It really struggles to get to the north here. So we'll let you guys know about that tomorrow. I know a lot of people are going to be tuning in here. So, Stacy, thank you so much. I really love that comment. A lot of active weather coming our way as we get towards starting tomorrow. Then we have the cold front coming in. And I will say this, since I got a good amount of people on this live stream right now. Beyond Thanksgiving, we're going to have, like I mentioned before, that cold air coming in. The weather will start to get interesting. Very, very, very interesting. We'll see. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to get past tomorrow. I want to get past the severe weather threat tomorrow. You guys know how I am. I talk if severe weather's in front, I go through severe weather first, and then we start talking about everything else. But I did tell you guys a week or two ago that it was going to get cold and pretty interesting as we get towards that late month and that December time frame. If you guys haven't checked out our winter outlook, go check it out. I break down everything from December, January, February, and into the March time frame here. Okay, so yeah, Gina, I understand that. Yeah, you guys always get the worst down there because you're so close to the Gulf of Mexico. You're so close to that warm, moist air that comes out of the Gulf of Mexico. It takes a significant amount of cold air to keep you guys from not seeing any severe weather down there. And unfortunately, we just don't have that in place right now. Sherry, great point, especially for tomorrow. Know your towns and know your counties, guys. I know when we have severe weather and tornado warning live coverage, we get a lot of people across the state. Northern Arkansas, western, central, southern Arkansas. You got to know where your counties are. You have to. You have to know where your counties are. I cannot make that any more clear than it already is. You got to know where your counties are. That helps out us in terms of knowing where the reports are coming from, and it helps you out to kind of, one, lower the severe weather anxiety, and then two, for you to know if there were to be a warning, where you are compared to that warning, and the time you need to seek shelter. So that's a really, really good point sharing about that here. Okay, so same thing about Hope. I've already talked about Hope. Dustin, really, 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 really good question. Will this system support more of a QLCS tornado event or long tract? My money is going to be QLCS. You may see a lone tracker down there in Louisiana, Mississippi tomorrow. That is if you get more of a supercell threat versus a squall line. This is mainly going to be a what we call a QLCS threat. Now, if you're wondering, you probably heard that word, and you're trying to figure out what in the world does that mean. That means that it is more, it's more of those brief, weak, sped-up tornadoes that are very, very quick. Basically, I like to call them like an outbreak of tornado warnings. That's basically what I like to call them, because you get a ton of tornado warnings for these brief, weak spin-ups along the line. I think that might be the case, especially across Central and South Arkansas for tomorrow. South Arkansas is more favored because you have more instability down there, but I want to see where that warm front ends up, guys. That's gonna seal the deal tomorrow. Tomorrow morning when we wake up and see where that warm front is, that's gonna seal the deal on who sees severe weather and who doesn't. And we're going to make sure to post that a lot tomorrow. Be like, okay, this is where the warm front is. This is where the warm front is. This is best shot seeing severe weather. We'll have to see. But I'm going to tell you this. If you wake up tomorrow morning to a ton of heavy rainfall and thunderstorms, my bet would be, unless the warm front just rapidly surges north, my best bet is going to be that South Arkansas is probably going to be the best shot. Central and North should be fine across the board. But that's a really good question, Dustin, about that. So, always, we're going to have that continuous live stream tomorrow. I'm thinking, I want to see how it looks in the morning. I'll give you guys kind of more of a solid time frame tomorrow morning, because the warm front is going to tell me what I need to know. So if you're looking for any time frame maps or anything, I'm going to hold it off until tomorrow morning. Now, I know there are a lot of people that are traveling tomorrow. I want to give you guys a rough estimate on the timing. And if one of my guys can post this in the comments, that'd be really appreciated. I'm going to go with 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the severe weather threat for tomorrow. I'm going to go with 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's just my rough estimate right now, mainly from, I would say from Mena to Little Rock to West Memphis south, along Interstate 30, along Interstate 40 south. I'm going to go 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. right now. That's going to be the best shot at this given point of seeing severe weather. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, get you guys an update, see what the warm front is, see what's going on with the recent data, and we'll go from there, Arkansas. But right now, 10 a.m., 4 p.m. will be the best shot of seeing some severe weather. It's mainly across central and in southern Arkansas here. So for tonight, you're going to be good. Tonight, you may have some rumbles of thunder, maybe some showers here. I know we got a good amount on the board right now across the board. You guys can see this back here. Got a good amount of shower activity moving through right now. That's going to clear out. There could be some showers, maybe some thunderstorms first thing tomorrow morning, mainly across western Arkansas. You can actually see on our Futurecast on the right side of your screen. There could be some thunderstorm activity tomorrow morning. I don't think it's going to be your main round of severe weather. I think that's going to hold off until that 10, 11 o'clock in the morning time frame, and then it starts to ramp up during the afternoon, especially across South Arkansas here. So I want to see where the warm front is. I know you guys hate it, but I got to know where that warm front is, especially with situations like this, because wherever that warm front ends up, it's going to tell me where the best severe weather shot is going to be. If you're north of the warm front tomorrow, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, you're going to be good. There could be some hail, maybe some gusty winds. The tornado threat, if there were to be one tomorrow, is going to be south of the warm front. I want to see where that warm front ends up tomorrow across the board. Same thing for southwest Arkansas. I've talked to you guys down there near Nevada County. That's where I'm watching you guys. Where does that warm front stall out? I want to make that clear. I want to see where that warm front stalls out first thing tomorrow morning, because that's going to tell me on who sees severe weather, who doesn't, how far north is the warm front getting. Warm front setups are tricky. They're very, very tricky to kind of forecast, especially 1 to 2 days out. Sometimes you have to rely on that morning fresh data, even on the day of, to see where the warm front is and go from there. So got a good friend living in Pine Bluff. Pamela, do me a favor, give him a heads up, say, hey, we may have some severe weather for tomorrow. Stay updated, stay weather aware for tomorrow here, okay? So Tracy, you really didn't miss much. If you guys didn't miss anything, you can always come back in the live stream and kind of rewatch it and see what's going on. Let me see here. So yeah, Jared, if they do, I think it would be probably from Texarkana, Magnolia, El Dorado, all on that southern row of counties. I think if there were to be some sort of hatched risk for any hail or wind, which, by the way, hatched area, that means that for hail, it could be 2-inch in diameter or greater. Damaging winds, it's 75-mile-per-hour winds or greater. I say if that were to happen, it'd be down there in far southern Arkansas. Granted, we're about 24 hours. Well, actually, no. You're about 10. Yeah, you're about 10 hours away. 10 to 12 hours away from this event kind of getting started. It's going to be a little bit early tomorrow. So, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. I just want to know where that warm front is. I mean, it's like that nitpicking question that you can't get answered until you actually see it. So, yeah, I want to see where that warm front is as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So, yeah, I've already talked about the wind area, like I mentioned before. I know everyone's anxiety is through the roof, especially in the Little Rock and the wind area. If you hear anyone judging you guys for that, ignore them, because you guys have been through a lot, especially this past spring. So those questions don't bother me. I understand. I completely understand. You guys got ravaged by that tornado. March 31st, and you've had multiple rounds of severe weather in April and in June. So I want to make that clear. It's not bugging me at all. Those areas in the wind area, you're going to be good for tomorrow. It just depends on where the warm front ends up. If it stays in South Arkansas, it's just going to be another rainy, stormy day across the area with little to no severe weather. However, if that warm front does make it past Central Arkansas and does make it in North Arkansas, then you run the risk of seeing possibly some damaging winds, hail, and there could be that tornado risk that we'll have to watch out for. But it just depends tomorrow morning. If you're wondering about the specific cities and counties, get with me tomorrow morning because I want to know where that warm front is. The warm front's going to tell me what I need to know in terms of severe weather threat for tomorrow. Okay, so, oh yeah, good point, Barbara. There's a lot of people in, not a lot of deer hunters in their camps and stuff this week. Flooding is also another possibility as well, especially if we start getting thunderstorms that kind of run over the same area. So if you know anyone that's out camping right now, I know the service is probably going to be little next to nothing, but if you can get in contact with them at any kind of point, let them know about that flooding risk as well. We'll have to watch that for tomorrow here. Thank you, Barbara, for letting me know about that. So when will we know about the warm front? First thing tomorrow morning. Probably, I'd say 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I want to know where the warm front is by that point. Also, another factor is going to be a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity on the north side of the boundary. Let's take a look at that real quick. And I want to go over to the latest run, and we're going to go over to the radar, okay? So this is about 4 a.m. tomorrow, well, late tonight into tomorrow morning here. You can see there's a good amount of rain across northern Arkansas. That's Fayetteville, Fort Smith. This is over towards, this is Batesville. This is Harrison up here, Mount Holm, over towards Little Rock, Memphis, Jonesboro area up here. This is a good amount of rainfall. This is not going to be severe. I want to make that clear right now. This is not going to be severe weather first thing tomorrow morning. If you hear a lot of thunder and lightning tomorrow morning, especially across northwestern Arkansas, unless we say something, it's not going to be severe. I guarantee you. Okay, now, this is not done yet, but we're going to go back over to this. So, what this does, this is about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. There's a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity that gets developing down here in southwestern Arkansas and across western Arkansas. My money is some of these storms may contain hail. However, this is going to be the warm front. I'm going to show you this. I should have showed you guys this earlier on kind of how to spot the warm front here. Dew points are going to be your best friend tomorrow in terms of spotting the warm front here. Now, your warm front based off of this map would run from the Red River all the way down to central Louisiana, kind of hugging the Gulf Coast, because you can see the tongue of moisture coming up across eastern, northeastern Texas. Take this out a little bit further, and you can see what the HR is wanting to do. It keeps that warm front basically from Texarkana, I'd say roughly Pine Bluff over to Helena, West Helena, and then dives it across Alabama and Mississippi, which would mean your biggest shot of seeing severe weather would run from Texarkana, Camden, El Dorado, Magnolia, over towards Crossit. That'd be smack over as well, Monticello, and Lake Village. That would be the best shot of seeing severe weather if this were to happen. Anywhere north where you see these blues and this kind of gray area up there in central and northern Arkansas, you guys will actually be fine. You have some hail potential to kind of watch out for. Won't be anything significant, but you guys will be fine. The best tornado risk will be down there. As a matter of fact, you can see, let's take a look at that tornado parameter as well, and you can see, look, down here in South Arkansas will be your best shot. I'm really going to have to watch far southern Arkansas tomorrow. That's going to be the best shot of seeing severe weather. And you see, look down in Louisiana, East Texas, Mississippi. That is where your tornado threat is going to be maximized tomorrow. Fortunately for us, this storm is a little further south. So, fortunately us, we don't have to worry about that. But this is where we're going to have to watch. But anywhere central north Arkansas right now, based on what I'm seeing, I'm not going to give you the all clear. It will be very immature of me to give you the all clear right now. But we shall see. We'll have to get to tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens across the board. Okay, so good idea. Keep your phones charged, flashlights, just to be on the safe side. No problem with that. Let's take a look at where the warm front is right now. Good. You guys are doing some. You guys are great. I got tongue tied. You guys are asking a lot of great questions tonight here. I appreciate you guys for asking these questions here. It does not bother me at all. Let's go over and take a look at the warm front here now. Let's go over those are the temperatures. Let's go over to the dew points real quick. So there's your warm front. A couple of things I am concerned about. One, that's about 6 p.m. Your warm front is stretched just to the east of Oklahoma, where I wish I could draw on this, but basically, you guys see my mouse. So basically, right through here, that will be your warm front setup at this point. So it's basically running from far western Louisiana, East Texas, up into the Kansas area. So that would be your warm front right now. You got a dry line set up out here in West Texas. You can see your very, very dry dew points coming into West Texas at this point. But your upper 50 and low 60 dew points are surging in. This is a good thing, and it's a bad thing. Because, one, there could be a lot of heavy rainfall tomorrow morning. That could just cancel all this out. And then, two, if you don't see the rainfall, and what I'm worried about is the fact that you have a lot of dry air across Arkansas right now. A significant amount of dry air. If that happens, it could leave what's called an inversion in place, because that typically happens when you're going from cold to warm. And what that could do is it could reduce the morning activity. This is one event we do not, by any circumstances, want to reduce the morning rainfall. We want morning rainfall. We want the morning thunderstorms, because that's going to keep this warm front from pushing into Arkansas. If you get rid of all that, we wake up first thing tomorrow morning, I'll tell you this. You wake up tomorrow morning and it's this, and it's a few hit and miss showers across the board, nothing major, then we've got a problem. Then we got a problem to talk about. But right now, this is where your warm front's kind of stationed from East Texas, Eastern Oklahoma, Eastern Kansas, down into southwestern and western Louisiana. You can actually see it because it kind of separates. Arkansas is in the upper 30s, low 40s, dew points, a lot of dry air across Arkansas right now. And then you have your upper 50 and low 60 dew points across Oklahoma and Texas. So that is where the warm front is. This is what I'm going to be studying like a hawk first thing tomorrow morning to kind of give me an answer on what to expect here. Okay, so I love that. I love that we have people down in South Arkansas listening to us right now here, because I come from South Arkansas, and I'm going to tell you guys, in Central and in Northern Arkansas, you guys are blessed, because down in South Arkansas, especially on the Louisiana border, you don't get any kind of weather coverage down there. Hardly anything. You have to come up with your wets down there. So that makes me really happy that we have people from South Arkansas coming in and tuning in and listening and kind of giving that heads up. And I want you guys down there in South Arkansas to kind of spread the word as well. If you know someone that doesn't have a lot of weather coverage or anything, let them know about our page. This is what we do. We cover the entire state. And especially South Arkansas, because I come from there, so I want to make sure that they're covered along with Central and North Arkansas at this point. So, good question. We shall see first thing tomorrow morning. I know you hate that. I hate it too, but we shall see tomorrow morning. And basically, what an inversion is, think of it like you're baking a cake and there's a lid over it. You have your very warm air and you have your cold air. And what happens this time of the year, you have these cold surges coming in. That's why it's really cold right now. And then it gets replaced with this warm, moist air. So it leaves an inversion in place. That's what I'm worried about. We're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening with that. I don't know if model data is accounting for that or not, but we'll cross that bridge tomorrow morning here. So, yeah, Pine Bluff, unfortunately, yeah, you're going to be right there on the edge of it. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow morning, we're going to have a lot of updates for you guys across the board. Same thing, I've gone over Hope. You guys down there, it just depends on where the warm front ends up. It really depends on where the warm front ends up across the board. Let me go over to this model real quick, and we're going to talk to you guys about this. Let me go over to, let's take this out. It's just not coming out. Of course it is. That 8 o'clock magic time frame, when your time goes back, everything comes out at 7, 8 o'clock here. So there's that. So there's okay, now this is the RFS. It's a little bit further north with the warm front than the HR. It's a little bit further than north. Central Arkansas will still be fine. And North Arkansas will still be fine. But South Arkansas, the Hope area, Texarkana, El Dorado, Camden, Monticello, Pine Bluff, over towards Crossit, over towards Lake Village, the Dermot area over there. That is where you're going to have to watch for that severe weather potential as we get towards tomorrow. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there first thing tomorrow morning. Going to have a lot of updates for you guys tomorrow. So, and I know you're looking at this, you're like, man, why do we not have all that instability down there in southern Arkansas? Not southern Arkansas, in Louisiana, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. I got tongue-tied for a second. You don't have a lot of instability to work with here in Arkansas, but the problem is you have a ton of wind shear to work with for tomorrow. I think this is a 115 knot jet coming in tomorrow. So you got a ton of wind energy to work with tomorrow. So it's just like lighting a fire. You have the lighter fluid, and all you need is a spark, and the spark is your instability. So even if it's low like this, you can still get that tornado potential here. So Texarkana, El Dorado, Magnolia, over to Smackover, over towards the cross area, Lake Village, Ashley and Chico counties. Those areas you're going to have to watch severe weather for tomorrow. Now, I'm banking. I'm probably going to be on here tomorrow kind of going over severe weather coverage here, guys. So let me see here. So, yeah, Carlos, basically how hail is formed. Basically, these storms go up, especially when they're severe. They go up to 50 to 60,000 feet in the air. Well, what happens is all that updraft takes those raindrops with it, and it develops the hail. I wish I had a graphic. I'm not good with having stuff on demand. But it forms those hailstones, and the longer they're within the thunderstorm, and the longer they're able to kind of sustain in that updraft, the bigger they get. So tomorrow's hail threat, I think, will be better across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, but I can't rule it out across central, northern Arkansas, and favored southern Arkansas at this point. Okay, so 10 a.m., 4 p.m. It's gonna be your best shot. We shall see. I want to get to tomorrow. We'll talk about more tomorrow. Yep, keep it glued here. That's what we do here, guys. So the equipment area. Before I start hopping off in here, by the way, I've been on here for I think going on an hour now. So I lost track of time here, but up there we'll see. We shall see. I want to see what the warm front's going to be tomorrow. That's going to be the biggest thing, and that's going to tell me everything I need to know. So I'm going to go back over to this graphic here, and like I mentioned before, I love this graphic. I wish I had this back in the spring when we were dealing with all that severe weather here, but this kind of breaks down everything. You have your tornado risk sitting at level 2 right now. It goes from level 1 to level 5, sitting at level 2. Your damaging wind risk sits at level 2, and then your large hail risk sits at level number 2 as well. Try to say that like a million times. Right now, everything's level 2. We shall see if this gets downgraded or it potentially gets upgraded. We'll cross that bridge tomorrow morning here across the board. But I know there's a lot of people that are probably wanting to get out, travel, and everything like that. But we shall see what ends up happening as we get towards tomorrow here, guys. So I'm going to take one more question. Up there, Northwestern Arkansas, Janet, I don't know if you heard me earlier. You guys will see some thunderstorms first thing tomorrow morning, potentially. Could produce some small hail. So watch that closely. Could be some wind gusts, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Once this passes through, by the way, you're going to have a cold front move through, and boy, oh boy, 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 it is going to get cold. And when I mean cold, it is going to get really, really cold as we get towards the Thanksgiving time frame here. Matter of fact, I'm going to wrap up these questions, show you guys that real quick, and then I'm going to bounce for tonight so I can get some sleep. So let's see here. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, whoever got that in the comments here. So, Tony, I don't cover North Alabama. My money is going to be yes. It's going to be late tomorrow night into your Tuesday. Could be some thunderstorms up there. Depends on how far north the warm front gets. But it's going to be an overnighter for you. As you get towards tomorrow night and the early part of your Tuesday. I think you guys, I'm not sure if you guys are in the same risk as us. I think it's going to be like more of a damaging wind hail threat for you guys over there in northern Alabama here. So, what's the plan for the update tomorrow morning? I'm looking at it probably about 8 o'clock. I'm probably going to develop a graphic tonight and kind of give you guys a kind of a breakdown what to expect. So I'm looking at probably tomorrow morning. I'm going to get up about 8, look at some data, see where the warm front is, kind of give you guys a little bit of an update on that, and then probably we'll see. I'll probably do an update, probably a live update, probably around 10 tomorrow morning. We'll see. I'll let you guys know first thing tomorrow morning here. Okay, so are we going to storm chase tomorrow? We'll get in that later on. Let me see here. So yeah, okay, thank you. I think that was probably someone in the comments got that. Thank you for getting that information. You guys are in a slight risk up there in northern Alabama here. So that is it for all the questions, guys. I'm gonna go over and take a look at the data for just a little bit. We'll kind of give you guys a little bit of a teaser behind this cold front. This is the GFS. I'm gonna go over to the temperatures here to kind of show you guys what to expect for Thanksgiving. So we have a lot of people tuning in that are wanting that information for Thanksgiving as well. There we go. And let's just kind of blitz this through. Tuesday, cold. Temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s. take this all the way through. You could have some very cold air coming in as you get towards Wednesday morning. We take this out. This is Thanksgiving during the day. High temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s under sunny skies. It's going to be great for Thanksgiving. And then we turn our attention to next weekend here. And I want to stress, once you get into this period, how things start to become colder. You can see back up here towards the north, teens, 20s. I think the GFS may be running a little bit too warm. But you can see by the time we get towards December, your colder air really starts to push south there. So if you're wanting cold air, stay patient with us, guys. I promise you it's going to be coming, but we've got to get through tomorrow, and then I'll start diving into what to expect as we get towards the last week of November and into the early part of December. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We will talk to you guys tomorrow morning about the severe weather threat, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.